Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Deadline, and this is CityXen, where one of our goals is to amaze and inspire you. With me today is Stella Nova.
Hello. So what are our other goals?
The goals here at CityXen are many and far-reaching, but let us just focus on this one goal today.
Okay. The holidays are always a busy time for us, and this past year was no exception.
I barely had any time to do any video stuff at all. In fact, 2024 was exceptionally busy for us. We went to VCF Southeast in Atlanta, VCF Midwest in Chicago, and then we got invited to CRX to do a video presentation.
Totally awesome.
I do have quite a lot of other things cooking, and I'll explain a little more after our main presentation.
The last time you saw us was during the CRX presentation back in November. Today we're going to kind of recap what's been going on since then, including some of the upgrades we've made to our studio.
That's right, but first, we have a few things to show you all. Check out my Trapper Keeper, yo.
Awesome!
Yes, it's time for the Trapper Keeper to come out. Can I show them my Trapper Keeper?
I thought you'd never ask.
CityXen.
So this is my Trapper Keeper. Oh my god. And in here we have a Christmas postcard from our dear friends at VCFSoCal, the Deirdricks, and they sent us this lovely update newsletter thing with some personal news, VCFSoCal news, and VintNerd news. And this is really awesome. Thank you so very much, you guys.
We ought to do one.
We should. Yeah. Stay safe, please. And we also have here this special edition of Run Magazine, which is the home user guide to Commodore computing. And it still does have the pull-out wall chart, which I think is super duper awesome. And then finally, we have this Interface Age magazine. This issue is from December of 1981, and it's got a big article in it about how computing is going to be in the future. So we are really looking forward to doing a special episode just on this and checking to see what their predictions were and how they shook out in reality and what's it like today. And yep, that's it.
That's it? That's all that's in the Trapper Keeper this time?
Well, I do have this crochet pattern that I had ChatGPT make.
Oh God. You know, we can't be using AI to make our content.
Yeah, I guess we need stuff to put in there so we can do the next installment of...
Check out my Trapper Keeper, yo.
CityXen.
So, do you know what my New Year's resolution is for 2025?
No, what's your New Year's resolution?
320 by 200. That's a Commodore joke, y'all. Anyway, it's time to show you what else we've been received or purchased since the last time we did any kind of show and tell. And after that, we can get everyone up to speed on the cool things we're working on for 2025.
As you can see, we have a lot of stuff here on the table, but we also have some new things to tell you about in the studio.
Let's talk about the things we've got on the table first, then we'll get into the other stuff. Okay, so the first thing that we have is this awesome. This is a 8-bit Christmas tree for my stepdaughter. And she knows that I'm into a lot of like 8-bit stuff, Commodores and whatnot. And so she gave us this. She gave me this for Christmas, and that's pretty awesome. So that's the 8-bit Christmas tree, right?
Yeah, I'm super proud of her for that.
So the next thing I've got here is some micro USB pigtails And in this box, let's see what we got. Be careful with knives, ladies and gentlemen. Don't cut yourself. All right.
You learned that from experience.
I have. And what we've got in here are cassette port connectors. And I'm gonna pin these out to these pigtails so we can run the meatloafs on those, the power to the meatloafs. So we don't have to have external powers to them. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's what those are for.
Cool.
It's the mech board from Retro Fusion mech board. Commodore 64 mechanical keyboard. It's designed for the Commodore 64, bread bin, the C64C, or a VIC-20. So that's pretty cool. And I put this into the bread bin that we got from Retro Fusion, and we'll show you that in a minute. And let's take a look at the back of this box. Actually, there's a lot of stuff on here. The next thing that we have is this retro mechanical keyboard from 8-Bit Do. And let me tell you, when I first saw this, I thought it was kind of dumb, but it is actually a pretty nice keyboard.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's I got this as a gift from Zamfir, and it's pretty heavy because it's got a battery in there, right? And it can be controlled through Bluetooth or through the 2.4 wireless USB connector that comes with it, and it's got a little place to put it in there with a magnet, so it just snaps back into place. You'll never lose it. But this is pretty nice. The keys feel very similar to like a Commodore 64 keyboard. But what's cool also about this is that it comes with these extra connectors, these extra keys that you plug into the back, right? And these keys, you can program them to be anything. So you can put cut, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V on these, or any other thing that you want. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to put on there yet. I might have it, boom, load the VI simulator, right? And it also comes with a little Commodore joystick. Let's take a look. I don't know how good this is or how good it's going to be, but the quality of it seems pretty good. Where's the fire button on this thing? Huh, interesting. It feels pretty nice. Maybe you're supposed to use it in conjunction with that, or the fire button. Anyway, so that's the 8-Bit Do keyboard. And I might do another video on this, but the keys do feel pretty awesome. So we'll put this aside for now. And we'll take another closer look at that later. We got our RF keyboards. Retro Fusion bread bin cases. We got these in from Australia. They did a little Indiegogo funded with Indiegogo. And you can go to their website and actually buy these while their supplies last. I don't know if they got any plans to make any more, but they came in these really nice cases. We did some footage earlier of these, but the footage did not come out very good. So you're only going to get to see the very last part of us putting these together. We got the purple one. It's got the purple side port thing on there. This one has a green LED, and the green one, and it's also, it looks pretty nice. We're going to get other keys for these later on, but that's what they're looking like right now.
They are very cool.
They are very cool. And those are the Retro Fusion bread bin cases.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever. CityXen.
Since this is our first video in a while, I've decided to make it a sort of conglomeration of our various video styles blended together. The Trapper Keeper stuff, the mailbag stuff, and our new video stuff as we transition into 2025. The AIs are in sleep mode, so you'll just have to wait for more Clicky and friends.
I heard that.
One of the great things about being into retro computing in 2025 is that there's a bunch of modern solutions that allow you to interact with the old machines in brand new ways that actually help with the creative process. Take for example the Meatloaf Project by Jamie Idlepix. He has brought Commodore computers into the information age by giving them what essentially boils down to a TCP/IP stack by utilizing the IEC bus in a new way while maintaining the CBM standards for loading files. In other words, the internet now acts like a huge SD to IEC disk drive from the Commodore's perspective. Except you can actually send out URLs and pass arguments to websites. The web server can then be programmed to whip up a program on the fly and push it back to the Commodore over the serial bus. This is different from using a Wi-Fi modem, and I think a lot of people get confused by it being connected to the internet and associating it with Wi-Fi modems. There's nothing farther from the truth. You can use the Meatloaf to connect to modern BBSs over the IEC bus though, and Thomas Cherryholmes has done some work showing us that it's possible by utilizing a built-in flaw in the IEC bus protocol. You can check it out in his video over on his channel. It's pretty cool stuff. I've been using the Meatloaf for a couple years now, and I've been tracking the progress of the project. We've seen the FujiNET project also progressing, and it uses the Meatloaf for the Commodore computers, but we can make the Meatloaf do things outside the FujiNET construct and utilize it specifically for custom Commodore computing projects, just as I'm about to show you. But before I get into that, I'm going to show you some of our studio upgrades. I want to show it to you in this order so we all know what we're working with. We have a few strategically placed cameras, there's some new lighting and a disco ball, and the lights in the disco ball are connected to our Alexa smart home using smart plugs. The sci-fi set is an ongoing project and it will evolve as we go. Right now the studio has 4 operational Commodore 64s with FujiNET Meatloaf devices, but we're planning on putting some other retro systems in here as well, such as an Apple IIe and an Atari 800, maybe a PET, and an Amiga. Who knows? We'll just have to see. Now that you see what we're working with in the studio, let's pivot back to the Meatloaf and FujiNET stuff. 2025 is looking good for Meatloaf enjoyers. Jamie Idlepix is going to be coming over to the studio in person to give us a comprehensive update on the project. And we'll do a more comprehensive video on the Meatloaf and all the new features available. But until then, let's go over briefly a few of the things you can do with the Meatloaf besides load files over the internet. I've baked a few Meatloafs to get all our Commodores onto the net. Let's take a look at Alexa, the Commodore 64 Alexa smart home integration through the Meatloaf. Yes, you heard me right. We got our Commodore 64 to control the lighting and the disco ball in the studio. There's even a red alert mode. All of these will be explored more in depth in the Meatloaf video. Next, our Commodore 64 YouTube subscriber count program made possible with the Meatloaf. All of these are going to be shown a little more in depth on the Meatloaf video. This is just a sort of a taste of what is to come There's also the new console features and the LED lighting for the Meatloaf. All that and a whole lot more, so be looking for that video on our channel when it comes out. One thing to remember is that any software that we create that you see on our channel will be on our GitHub. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. Please leave a comment below if you have anything that you'd like to add or suggest or requests, and we'll see what we can do. Speaking of the Whackadoodle, I have some exciting updates for everyone. The Whackadoodle game is now considered a finished product, and you can get it at itch.io. The game has been updated with more relatable doodles, and there is now 3 difficulty modes: easy, normal, and hard. The Meatloaf high score save over the internet is finally working, after much source coding and working with Jamie to get this fully realized. The high score that we know of is from Log, from the Atlanta Historical Computing Society, so we've honored that by putting it in the initial database scores. If you have a Meatloaf, why not try and download Whackadoodle and try and beat Log's score? I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Just remember though, the high score save will not work if you're using the easy mode. If you've recreated the honk and heckin' buttons with the relay board, the 3 extra relays on the board can be hooked up to bells and whistles for when you miss a doodle, hit a doodle, or the game is over. Thanks to Yuri from our CRX presentation for that suggestion. One other thing we'd like to mention is that BrewOtaku covered Whackadoodle in their magazine, so go check that out, it's pretty cool. As always, we'll make sure to leave a link in the description for this and any other relevant information. We're working on getting Whackadoodle on cartridge for the Commodore 64 and hope to sell them in a box with some cool 80s retro game art. The custom controllers from RetroGameBoyz are still available if you'd like to get your own Whackadoodle controller, and I just wanted to shout out to Mike over there. Thanks for supporting our game by creating those. You rock! And finally, we're porting the game over to the Apple II and Atari 8-bit system. So watch this space.
Destroy him, my robot.
Now for the Clicky and friends and enjoyers of our channel, the Encrypted Tales is a bit delayed. Apologies for that, but it will be out when we get it done. And it's going to be a fun one, so be looking forward to that. Our Mini Pet Adventure Part 2 is almost done too. We'll regale the heroic efforts of RetroTech Dan in our quest to get our mini-pet working. If you don't know who RetroTech Dan is, you will after watching our video about how he miraculously fixed our mini-pet. Speaking of pets, we have the Super Pet that we got from VCF Southeast last year, and I'll be opening up that sometime this spring to take a look at the extent of the damage in an upcoming video, and maybe you guys can help me fix it. We also got TRS-80 Model 4 from Mike at the Tech Night. So he's another YouTuber. He does a lot of repair videos. Go check him out at the Tech Night on YouTube. I had the TRS-80 Model 3 in high school in one of our classes, and I programmed it to draw, save, load, and print screen block images as a project. And I want to try and recreate that program and do it again. As far as programming stuff, I'm currently working with the 8-Bit Shack to port a couple of their games to the Commodore 64. I'm not real sure I can pull it off, but I'm going to try. And in doing so, I hope to create a new Apple II programming library, and once I get it fleshed out, I will share it with everybody. In other news, I've updated our own Commodore 64 programming library with a lot more functionality to the include folder, so be sure to check that out over on our GitHub. It will have the high score API that me and Jamie developed for the Meatloaf, so that anyone can snatch it and use it in their own games. As far as the next Commodore 64 programming video, I'm going to go over the RLE compression that was sent in to us from Kevin. No specific time frame for this, but I will work it into my workflow. And I also want to tackle REU programming as well, so be watching for those. And finally, we're going to be doing a collaboration with David Yaud on his YouTube channel. He's got a series where he does Commodore 64 games in 64 seconds. So be looking forward to that on his channel, and I'll leave a link here in the description as well, so you can go check out his channel. During the holidays, we pulled out the Whackadoodle 64 and smoked turkey for Thanksgiving. Here's Zamfir with a few words about what he's thankful for.
Hey there, it's Zamfir. Happy Thanksgiving. And the thing I'm most thankful for are all the awesome people that we've met through doing our videos, and all the friends we've made. So, in that spirit, have a happy Thanksgiving and keep you and yours close.
And I just want to say also that, that it's really true that we have met so many cool people doing our content and being involved in the retro community. So that's what I'm really thankful for.
CityXen.
They all laughed when I said the Commodore 64 could be used as the ultimate spellcasting device. Who's laughing now? Oh. Zamfir, you're just in time. Have you brought the disc?
I have.
Oh, good.
It's encrypted. It has a special bit on track 3, sector 5. No one can trace it.
Good. Let's just stick it in to the disk drive. Okay, I've written the spell. This line of basic should channel the 8-bit caffeine gods directly.
Oh, you need a closing parentheses there, or you'll open a portal to the void.
Ah, good catch.
Yeah, don't run it yet. Let me add something.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of Caribbean spice. Gonna spice it up a little bit
I see.
with some Caribbean spice.
Genius. All right, let's
Coffee
get this
time.
donkey running.
Coffee time.
Now,
Summon the coffee.
yes, let's summon a coffee, shall we?
Hey, I brought us some coffee, you guys.
Oh, look at that. There's coffee.
What are y'all doing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I made this coffee so we could power through the rest of the video.
Oh, the video.
The video.
All right, okay.
That mug sure does look cool.
Thanks. I got it from you. It says Zen City in Japanese.
Well, that is cool. What flavor is this?
It's chock full of bits.
Oh, okay, well, that's a wrap for this video. You're up to speed on where we're going into 2025.
Well, another quality production in the can. We'd love to hear about your retro adventures too. Why don't you tell us in the comments about all the cool things that you're doing?
And remember, if you like our content, please consider subscribing and becoming a patron over on our Patreon. And we'll blast your information all over our Commodore 64 scroller and include it in our videos.
Over.
Yeah. From all of us here at CityXen, thank you for watching.
And we'll see you again real soon.
Thanks for watching.
CityXen.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new programming series. And be sure to check out all the other vintage computer-related videos on our channel. Right here on CityXen.
Paid for by CityXen for an 8-bit tomorrow.